Welcome back. I'm Susan Story. We are continuing our coffee enema thing. So one of the things that you're never going to find written anywhere in any directions is ozonating the coffee. When I was a patient at the Hospital Santa Monica down in Rosarito in Baja, Mexico, Dr. Donsbach told us to do rectal insufflations. So with the ozone generator and the tubing, we had it hooked up to another tube that you would insert rectally, turn the machine on, and essentially blow your intestines up until you can't handle it anymore, turn the machine off, and hold it. And you hold it as long as you can, at least 5 or 10 minutes if possible, and then you fart and you let it all out. So it hurts. It's not fun. And so I just decided, I read through the oxygen therapies, and they talk about doing wet insufflations, which is basically you're ozonating the water and putting the water in. So I'm all about multitasking. So I've decided, and I've always done this ever since I started these, is I got my ozone generator. I've got another pot up here. The first one I don't usually do because for whatever reason, I can't tell you why, I just don't do it. And then probably because sometimes if I don't know how to know when I'm going to be able to hold the coffee for the full 15 minutes and when I'm not. So sometimes I can't hold it, and I'd rather not waste the strong one on that. So I use the weaker one, turn it on, and it's bubbling, it's putting the ozone into the coffee. Now the oxygen that's in there, that extra ozone oxygen, is not stable, so it dissipates quickly. So once I'm done with that process, I want to use it pretty quickly. I'm going to go ahead and turn that off because it's kind of loud. So with my weak one, we're going into lots of details. This is called a fountain syringe. There's regular enema bags that it's a combination bag where you can do a hot water bottle and all kinds of different things with it, but it's closed at one end, and I will show you why in a minute here. But the fountain syringe has the hole down at the bottom where we're going to put the tubing on, but it's open at the top, and with it being open at the top, it allows you to pour more liquid into the top without having to turn it upside down, unscrew it, put it back on, and then you have air in your line. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on. You just slide the tube onto the bottom connector. And then the important part is this little clamp. So the clamp goes on the bottom. So you just slide that through.
You might do that one more time even.
Do it again?
Yeah, kind of show the clamp too, a little close.
You got this hook that's going to go in the top to hang it from. Now the tubing, you've got this clamp. You want the clampy part to be at the top with the tube that you're going to insert coming out of the bottom. And so the part with the hook, you just put that in the top, slide it through, and it's pretty much wherever you want it to be. And then I always clamp it off because sometimes I'll forget and I'll pour the coffee in and it just goes pouring out the bottom. Fountain syringe comes with one of each. There's no directions in there, so I don't know how you would know what you're supposed to do and what you're not. This is a vaginal insertion tube. This is the rectal one. It's kind of short. They used to make them longer. I don't know why they make them so short now, but that's what they do. So we're just going to screw that in there. Well, you don't even screw it. You just shove it on. Okay, and next simple part, we're just going to pour the coffee in. I'm going to put the end in the sink just in case I do what I've done many, many times and forgotten to clamp that off. So pour the coffee in. And then I just hang it from the towel rack because it's easy. Now here's the clincher. You put the coffee in like this entire tube is full of air. You're going to fill yourself up, you're not going to be able to hold it. So what I do to let that air out is I start squeezing the tube from the top of the clamp, and I just squeeze and squeeze and squeeze, and I'm being too loud so you can't really hear it, but it's pushing bubbles up from the tube going up into that coffee. And as you see down here on the floor, I've got my big red towel, my big beach towel laid out. It's not going to protect the floor if you have a big accident, but it's going to protect it enough if you spill coming out of this tube. Of course there's going to be a problem. All right. You can go ahead and stop that.